This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Real life, real money, and really weird emojis. That's what we're talking about today on Talking Real Money. Tom, I don't think you get emojis.
I don't, and I'd have no idea why I just sent you these ones with a duck in there or something, or a bird.
He sent me a smiley face guy with a shocked expression,
I don't know what
a chick hatching out of an egg, and a stack of textbooks.
Well, telling you to, stop.
Tell me to learn.
Stop looking at the chicks and start studying. How's that? Is that good?
Right. Now I know what it means.
All right, now it took me a while to figure that all out. So there you go.
Well, actually, that didn't take you any time at all. That was like, wow.
Come on today,
Talk
baby. Boom,
about
boom, boom.
thinking fast.
Well, it's a big day. I mean, this is, there's a lot of things. Well, there's a lot of things to talk about today. You got the Congress trying to fix make people's retirement better. You got the SEC trying to figure out how to make it clear what kind of advice you're really getting. And then to top it all, there's Powell's Sudden Service announcing yesterday that they will be coming to Abingdon, Virginia. I mean, this is the capper of an amazing week there.
Abingdon.
Abingdon. Abingdon? Anyway,
yeah.
Powell's Sudden Service coming to town. I knew you'd be happy about.
Did you go look something up on the internet just to harass me today?
I thought you'd be so excited about Powell's
Sudden Service.
Not Powell's. Pals, like your pal, like your buddy.
Oh,
boom!
What's the service they're going to provide suddenly?
That's up for you to find out. But Powell's Sudden Service is coming to town.
For me to know and you to find out. There you go.
All right.
I can be snooty just like the rest of them.
So there's a big week right there.
Yeah, I want to give you a phone number because it's the only way that I will ever have a moment's peace in the course of this program is if you actually call and ask a question or just harass Tom. 855-9, because it's only fair, don't you think? 855, this is 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks. 855-935-TALK is our phone number.
And I'm easy.
I'm
sorry?
I'm not done yet.
Go ahead.
855-935. I'm doing this part for you, the number part. 8255. That was for Tom.
Yeah, and you get free book from us as well. We got a lot of great information we can send out to you. I mean, I'm an easy target too. I live in a place called Maltby. Right? I mean, come on. That shouldn't be that difficult for you, but apparently it is. So
it is. It is.
So anyway,
there's nothing because you're like
this.
Seattle Metro, and I know you think you're special because you live outside of.
You're going to be like Roanoke Metro or something, right?
No. Roanoke is still an hour and a half away.
Okay. Well, I'm stretching a bit here. Well,
I'm going to be Bristol Metro.
Exactly, one of those other well-known hubs of southwestern Virginia that we all know so very well.
Bluegrass people know Bristol. Yeah. They do.
I'm not going to say another thing. I'm just so overwhelmed by Powell's coming to town that, boom.
There is no chance you are not going to say another thing. And I the only good news I have is that in the next hour, Tom is going to watch the last half of his daughter's soccer game.
That's
my only. You, as a caller and the soccer game, are now my only hope.
There you go. Exactly.
For a peaceful Memorial Day weekend.
All right. Fair enough. But to the news of the day, the news of the week, setting the major announcement of Powell's aside just for a moment.
All right, I have to look it up now.
And Powell's Sudden Service. I just love the name. In all seriousness, I mean, this is one of the things. We added this to the class that I've done the last few weeks. And by the way, thank you all for coming. We've sold out every class we've done for like the last month and a half. But I added this at the beginning.
Excuse me. He's getting a big head because of it, too.
Oh, okay. So. I shouldn't have mentioned that. We've had many people come to the classes I've spoken at recently. But every time, one of the first things I say is, don't shop at Powell's. I say, only get help from 100% fiduciaries. 100%, not duly registered, because bad things can happen to you.
50% fiduciaries.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah. So anyway, and the SEC is trying to clean this up a little bit or not, Don? Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah, here's the deal. The Securities and Exchange Commission decided, well, we can't have the Labor Department deciding things. And the court said, no, the Labor Department really doesn't have authority to create a fiduciary standard, basically, for the entire industry. So the Securities and Exchange Commission decided to, well, I can't say tackle it. It's more like grab it by the flag.
As it were.
It's more like flag football. It's more like touch football. They decided to touch it. And what the problem is Wall Street. The problem is
really.
That's
the problem hard is always to imagine.
Wall Street, isn't it? I don't think it's Wall Street.
I think it's K Street. But anyway, go ahead.
It's a combo. It's Wall
K
and K.
Street
It's the intersection of Wall and K.
Yeah, they're all hanging out there, ready to do something.
So Wall Street did not want a 100% fiduciary standard.
They hate the idea that they always have to act in your best interest.
That's right. And therein lies the rub. And that really is the rub. So here's what I want to kind of go through this with you. And this new rule goes into effect in just 2 weeks, where it's called the best interest standard. They did not call it a fiduciary standard.
Best interest standard.
Because there's a lot of wiggle room in here. And we'll get to that in a bit. 855-935-TALK is our number.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Do you need a little help with your investments? Set up a free, no-obligation appointment with one of our advisors at TalkingRealMoney.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Oh, pals.
Who's your buddy? Who's your pal? Right.
Pals.
Yeah.
Pals is really famous in that area. Yeah. They have like, oh my gosh, 20, 25 stores. It's a burger place that's supposed to have great burgers. I've never eaten there. I don't know. But I heard all about it. In fact, one of the Pals locations is shaped like a giant hamburger.
Wow. And so next week, tune in for more exciting news from Abingdon, Virginia. I will be here to deliver that because Don doesn't know enough about it, so I'm here.
You are going to be in trouble. You really are.
I'm making major news announcements here about your soon-to-be hometown, and I'm in trouble? Come on.
Once this plays in Abingdon as a podcast, you are in trouble.
If I ever thought I'd get there, I'd be nervous. But the fact is...
Oh, you'll get there. You'll get there.
The fact is, I think you could safely say, pretty well off the beaten path, unless you're on the creeper trail.
Oh, yeah, look, I'm looking at the store right now. It's got a burger and a hot dog built into the building. Pals.
Well, there's something to look forward to. So, not saying another thing. Anyway,
we
were talking about
anything quite like it. We're talking about the fiduciary standard.
Getting advice from others.
A giant bag of French fries on top of the building.
How's that work in the summer when it gets anyway? That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, fiduciary thing. Okay, here's what's happening.
Yeah, the advice. Yes,
the problem with most of the financial advice in this world, and this is particularly in the United States, is the fact that it comes from what are called duly registered advisors. These are people who can, at times, claim to be a fiduciary and act in your best interest.
And do regularly, because that's a kind of a marketing thing now. Yeah. I'm a fiduciary. You bet I am.
But the thing is that none of those people say, I'm a fiduciary.
And?
Sometimes.
Yeah, they rarely mention that.
The new rules that are going to be voted on June 5th will require that if they are duly registered, they present you with a 4-page document.
Your hat thing may take off at that point because they're going to need to buy a lot of those.
I'm telling you, my hat thing is better.
Don's hat trick finally going to bring in some big money.
It's so much better than this idea.
I guess.
Because I'm looking at this form. And at the top, it's a hypothetical form the SEC put out for the industry to comment on. Mm-hmm. It's hypothetical. Which type of account is right for you? Brokerage, investment advisory, or both?
So in a brokerage account, they're going to sell you. I mean, it even says that in there, I think, right? A transaction-based business.
If you open a brokerage account, you will pay a transaction-based fee referred to as a commission.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my favorite line in there on both sides, on the advisory side and the other one. It's kind of like basically the SEC said, you got to tell them you're not that good. It says, we offer a limited selection of investments. Other firms could offer a wider range of choices, some of which might have lower costs.
Nobody ever reads that stuff.
Might.
Ever. That's the problem.
Yeah, and then this is what the SEC is letting them get away with on the advisory side of the ledger. It's a two-sided form. And on one side, it's broker. On the other side, it's investment advisor. On the investment advisor side, get this. We are held, if you hire us as an investment advisor, we are held to a fiduciary standard that covers our entire advisory relationship with you. For example, we are required to monitor your portfolio investment strategy and investments on an ongoing basis. Now, then it says, our interests can conflict with your interests. Well, wait a minute. If you're a fiduciary, how can your interests conflict? They're not technically allowed to, but okay. They're saying we must either eliminate these conflicts or tell you about them. So we can be bad, but we have to tell you. And it says we have to tell you in a way you can understand. And then they go through all the fee stuff. But here's what I like the best about this form. And actually, this should just be required answers. Every advisor you talk to should just be required to answer these questions.
Go ahead. Hit us. Yeah.
Number one, given my financial situation, why should I choose an advisory account? Or why should I choose a brokerage account? Tell me why. 2, do the math for me. Actually show me what I will pay per year for an advisory account, how much for a typical brokerage account, what would make those fees more or less, and what services will I get for them? What additional costs should I expect? Tell me how you and your firm make money. This is the one that the insurance industry, the insurance salespeople are horrible.
Well, no, because they don't charge their clients anything. The money comes from the company.
Right. So tell me how you and your firm make money then in connection with my account. Do you and your firm receive any payments from anyone besides me?
Check the box, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Repeatedly.
What are the most common conflicts of interest in your advisory and brokerage accounts? Explain how you will address those conflicts when providing services.
Okay, so just to go back. Now, this is something that they're going to give everybody?
Yes.
So if you come in the office to somebody who is duly registered, they hold themselves out of fiduciary, but they're also a registered broker-dealer type situation.
Registered investment advisor and a BD.
BD, pardon me. And so they're going to have to give you the investor, the potential client, this one sheet?
Yes.
Interesting.
Four-page sheet.
I would love a survey at some point as to how many people actually read that.
Well, here's my prediction. Assuming the vote is in favor.
In the affirmative, yes.
In the affirmative. Here's what I would be willing to bet will happen. You will see a dramatic increase in folders, brokerage firm folders.
Here, take this with you.
Take this folder, and there'll be 15 sheets on what's so great about the brokerage firm. And then way back in the back will be these two sheets stapled together in black and white.
They don't want to read
because you don't want that one in color.
No, that's
and
not
it'll be on regular paper, not on glossy, shiny paper. It'll be just on regular, really garbage-looking paper, and it'll be stuffed clear in the back, or maybe in between some things.
Here's another thing to consider about all this. Do you know when this started? This discussion about having one standard? Do you remember the financial crisis? I think it was 2008.
Oh yeah, that's when
this is when Congress started working on this. They gave it to the labor. I think I have this. That's 11 years ago. So this took forever, and they're still not really where I think they should be, and that is every advisor, and people are always shocked to hear this. Every advisor should be required to act in you're the client, best interest, but they're not, and they're not under this standard either.
And that's not to say that everybody will, because doctors are all required to act in your best interest at all times.
Yeah, right.
Yet some don't. Some fall through the cracks, some don't. Lawyers, same thing, some don't. But wouldn't it be nice if your expectation going in was that the odds are this person is going to do what's best for me because the law requires them to do so. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
But here's the reality of it. How many people would you guess that you in the financial services industry are 100% required all of the time?
Give the number, Don. Come on, tell them.
You ready for this? 1%. 1%. That means 99% of investment advisors out there are not always required to do what's right by you.
Tom and Don are are talking real money.
It may not be the sexiest website in the world, but it's your one-stop shop for real money information, talkingrealmoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
It's a good thing I eat before the show because I'd be starving after looking at this picture of the
Pals.
There really a lot of thought went into that. I got to say that.
That's Pals. There you go. Look at the size of the logo on the building.
This is
like 30 feet tall.
I'm betting that most of our audience does not know anything about Pals Sudden Service.
Nope, because they're in Johnson City.
Yeah, they're kind
Bristol?
of on the other side of the world. And very small part of the world, but there's a lot of them. And we're just looking at a picture of the which one? I don't even want to know.
That's the Pals on Bristol Highway.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, there's a giant hot dog and hamburger on the side of it.
And you see the fries and the drink up top too. You got the whole meal package there.
Somebody went to a lot of work. So.
It's a big deal. 855-935-TALK is our phone number, 855-935-8255. By the way, do you know how to find out if your advisor is always required to act in your best interest? I bet you don't.
Yeah, you could ask them. Yeah. And then you could
That's
say,
as funny as the Pals building.
You could say, can you put that in writing?
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm sorry, sir. My firm will
they
not
won't allow
me
us to do that. Yeah, we get that one. We have a form on our website, don't we? That has something.
Yes, we do.
That you could take to have them sign that.
It's the investor.
I've only seen that signed one time by an outside firm.
Really?
Yep. They brought it to me and said, look, I said, wow.
I'm surprised that you got it once.
Yeah, because nobody. So, but where is that? That's at.
It's at talkingrealmoney.com.
Okay, so
I'll just find it right
You can
here.
take that one, but you can also go to what is it? SEC.
That's where I was going to go.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of work. I just
know
want
it
you
is.
to be aware that it is a lot of work. They do not make it easy. Let me see. Let's see. Where was I?
By the way, speaking of easy, you're not calling, and that's making it easy for Taylor, who's standing here watching a soccer game instead of answering the phone. So you need to call and put him to work.
Taylor watching soccer?
I know, it's a bit of a stretch. 855-935-8255, and you get a free book.
At the bottom,
yes.
Down at the bottom of talkingrealmoney.com, there's a guy holding a help wanted sign.
Is that you?
Sorry. Yeah, no.
Outside of Pals? Hire me.
Outside
Come
of Pals. And that, you can download those forms.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then what's the SEC website? I always forget. SEC.
It's advisor. Advisor spelled ER.
ER,
the
right.
SEC is the only one who spells advisor ER. ADVISER info, all one word, advisorinfo.sec.gov.
That's right.
But the problem there is you have to actually read something that's relatively long. The whole idea of this thing called the leave it to the government to name a form, ADV Part 2 brochure.
Of course.
Does that sound like something you really want to read? Yeah, it's the exciting tale of your financial advisor at ADV Part 2 brochure.
It is a long weekend. You get Monday. You could work on it then.
And it will, if you read through it, it'll tell you everything about your advisory firm. It will talk about conflicts of interest. It will talk about how they are compensated. It will say, we do these kinds of things that may not be in your best interest. You should read them.
Yeah, but I'll say this, too. I mean, the major firms, that's a big document. They hide all this stuff at the end of 80 pages. Or they have
15 of them.
And they were supposed to make this, remember plain English about 6 years ago? So about it still is not plain English, clearly.
Well, it is plain English, as you should know, given your family. It is plain English for attorneys at law.
That's true. Some attorneys, yeah. Okay, the smart ones. Good point.
You hang around your brother and your sister, and it's like, please quit talking rings around me.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you can check that out. Or the other thing you can do is just go to talkingrealmoney.com there, and there's a little contact form. Do this. Send me your advisor, the information on your advisor,
Donald,
who it is.
He's very good at pulling those
I
things
love
up.
doing this. I love it. Send me the information on your advisor. Tell me what kind of products you have. It will all be kept in the strictest of strict confidences, and I promise you, nobody's going to call you. It comes to me. But now, the one thing I can't promise you is that I will not mention it on the air, but I will not talk about you personally. I will not mention you, but I will talk about these things on the air because I want to help everybody. 855-935-TALK.
Tom and Don Don are talking real money.
Just about everything you need to know about money can be found at our website, talkingrealmoney.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
The scene, an underground bunker in Berlin. Generals are gathered around a table. One says to the other, "Are you ready to put into effect Operation Iron Condor?" The other said, "What the heck's an Iron Condor?"
It won't stop the Russians.
Doesn't that sound like a World War II movie
does.
theme?
I was trying to come up with General.
We will
Operation
destroy them
Iron
with the Iron Condor
is in effect. Yeah, well, it kind of burned. It kind of burned down like Berlin. I mean, you could say that, right?
Wait, what is an iron? We better tell
okay.
people what.
Right,
Can you? I bet you can't explain an iron condor.
Well, I know
because I had to look the darn thing
I know
up.
what a bird a condor is, but no, I do not know what an iron condor is.
Iron condor. You
What?
ready? This is what's wrong. You want the perfect example of what's wrong with Wall Street.
That's what I brought this up.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you ready?
What is an iron condor?
An iron condor is an option strategy in which you buy a call option. Let me make sure I got it right.
Tell everyone what a call option is.
A call option is the right to buy a security at a particular price in the future. So you buy a call option above the price of a stock.
Correct.
You sell a call option, and that gives you that gives someone else the right to buy the stock from you at below the price of the stock.
Don't do this at home, by the way.
There's more.
Yeah.
Then you buy a put option, which gives you the right to sell the stock to somebody else at a price just below the price, and you sell a put option.
It's not complicated enough for me, for one thing, for a strategy. Something a little fancier.
I don't even understand what it does.
Remember recently, and did you give the number? I can't remember if you did.
I didn't because I got so tied up.
Oh,
I
that's
was
right.
so excited about watching the case of
Tonight,
the Iron Condor.
Run home for that one. Yeah.
855-935-TALK. I'm going to watch that on Netflix right after the show.
855-935-8255, and you get a free book from us. But, okay, remember last half hour, we were talking about advice and why we think you should only get advice from 100% fiduciaries.
No 100% fiduciary would ever use an Iron Condor.
Yeah. So here you are at UBS. You've told them, I'm kind of conservative. I really just want to be in municipal bonds. And they say, yeah, that's great, but we got this other thing. It's
municipal bonds, municipal bonds. We've got
like
Iron
2%.
Condor.
Yeah, this is what they call the yield enhancement strategy.
Really?
Yeah. Here's the part that they probably didn't put at the fore. They're also charging you an additional 1.75% per year fee because there's a lot of trading in all this. It's expensive.
So that's in addition to their regular
whatever they're charging.
At UBS it's about 2% for the smaller accounts.
Yeah. And
3.75%.
This is why I don't trust. We had somebody recently who came to us and said they're going to use UBS because they have a super special strategy that's going to make them more non-correlated to stocks and bonds. I always get nervous.
You mean
when I heard
somebody actually came to us and they were being pitched?
No,
the
not
Iron
this.
Condor?
No, not this. But the whole thing, the whole pitch was, and this is what you get. You're going to make more than stocks and bonds, and you're going to take less risk to do it. That's what they were pitching here at the end of the day, right? Yield enhancement strategy. Quit being so boring. And if you're going to own municipal bonds, I don't go to UBS. Just go to Vanguard. Vanguard's got some great municipal bond funds. It's not as exclusive as owning individual bonds, but I can bet you, absolutely bet you that the cost will be less just doing it at Vanguard. No question. And you get thousands of securities. If you go to UBS, they're going to tell you why you need to own the Detroit Municipal and the New Jersey, whatever. They're going to sell you specific bonds. There's a difference between the bid and the ask that they're going to sweep off the table for themselves. But this kind of strategy, it troubles me because I think people still believe if you go to the right person, I got a guy, and they're going to put me in a strategy that's going to make me more than boring municipal bonds. But I'm still going to be conservative. I'm still going to be safe.
Because I'm special.
Right.
The only reason that I can get this is because I'm special.
Exactly.
They told me I was special, and
Yeah.
this is a special investment for special people. But let's think about it just logically for a moment, shall we? I love logic. Okay, so let's say they charge an extra 1.75%. Let's say you're one of their bigger clients. So they're charging you 1% per year.
Yep.
So now your total fees and expenses are 2.75%, okay? Remember that number because it's really important. When we come back, I'm going to go over the numbers for a municipal bond index and see how much money you could make if they just buy conservative assets. 855-935-TALK.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Tom and I believe in helping everybody become a better investor. That's why we offer lots of free knowledge at TalkingRealMoney.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
855-935-TALK. This is a great weekend to call because everybody's out driving. Oh my gosh, I was on the interstate today here in Florida.
In Florida, yeah.
Packed.
Really?
Absolutely. Both directions, dead stop, both ways. Absolutely crazy.
Where are they going?
Memorial Day weekend.
Where are they going?
Disney World.
Oh, okay. You got this That is the number one tourist attraction in the entire U.S. of A. I was kind of surprised to read that.
No. The entire world.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Number one in the world.
Well, you're going to move Pal's right to the top there, so don't worry about that.
I am going to go ride the hot dog at Pal's.
Okay.
like a teeter-totter thing.
Looks like a lot of fun. 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah. Hey. All right. I'm not going to argue with you about
Another
Addington again
episode
today.
of
I'm not.
Iron Condor, please.
I'm not arguing.
No, you're not going to win that one. So
we've launched the Iron Condor from the top of the Reichstag.
Yes.
And it's a giant bird. It's a real bird with just armor on.
Good luck on the flight path.
Iron armor. So they throw the bird off the top. There you go. Yeah. That's the end of the Iron Condor.
All right, so give us the numbers.
Okay, here's the deal. We're assuming for a minute the UBS guys with their YES strategy, their yield enhancement strategy.
I love that name. I do love that name.
Are charging 1% for their investment advisory services, which is about what it is for $1 million.
Sure, yeah.
So it's $1 million account, and you need tax-free income. Remember, they did compare it to tax-free income, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes? Okay. Mm-hmm. So you got that. Then
That's why you own the municipal bonds, because you don't have to pay tax on the interest you get from those, correct?
Right.
Yep.
So now they've got plus the 1.75% additional fee for managing that account because it's so complicated because they use puts and calls. They actually do on this yield enhancement strategy.
At the same time, by the way.
Iron Condor. So when you add 2.75% to the current average yield for municipal bonds, the current average yield for municipal bonds based on the Vanguard Total Tax-Exempt Bond Index is 2.22% tax-free.
So 2.75 minus 2.22.
No, but I'm saying to get 2.22, they would have to get 5%.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
They would have to find a way to make 5% gross net. I take that back. After all their expenses, because they'd have to make 5% net for you to make the same. But wait, they would have to make 5% tax-free for you to make the same.
Which means you have to make more than that. Yeah, a whole lot more.
There's no such thing as a 5% tax-free investment. So taxable equivalent, you are going to have to make about 6.5% to 7% on your investment to just end up where you would have been buying a municipal bond fund. There's a problem here.
Yeah.
That can't be low risk. It's impossible. You can't have those kind of returns. And this is the way you need to look at everything like this critically, Tom. You know this, that people don't, they just take people at their word.
And you end up with claims the way people are very unhappy because they lost a lot of money. Right? I mean, they got into the strategy that, this is going to be low risk, and it was not. And there was, again, I struggle when anybody says this does not correlate with bonds or stocks. That's, start getting nervous. So, no, I would not use the Iron Condor strategy. I'm going to go with the Buzzard Boys. I trust them a lot more. I'm going to stick with them, I think, when it comes to investing. So
the Buzzard Boys are pals.
Well,
I'm sticking with pals.
Yeah, well, the hamburger does look delicious, and it's there
There's
all
no
the
more
time.
Iron Maiden. You can't use that anymore.
24/7. No, I mean, but in all seriousness, all joking aside, this is the kind of thing you can get sold by a broker-dealer. I do not believe that a registered investment advisor fiduciary, 100% fiduciary, could put you in this. I don't think they could.
Whoa. They could, but they would be violating their
true. Fair enough.
fiduciary responsibility.
Correct.
Yes, I have seen 100% fiduciary
They
advisors
do bad things to people,
who have
sure.
strategies that are just horrible. Horrible. I mean, many of them in the Seattle area.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible strategies.
It's not a guarantee.
Advice.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So you don't know for sure, but it just improves your odds if they're always acting in your best interest. And just in case you're thinking, well, okay, I want tax-free returns. Let me just tell you the story of the Vanguard. This is the Vanguard Tax-Exempt Bond Index. So it owns
Very good fund.
4,100
Okay, I was thinking 4,000, but okay, I was pretty close.
tax-free
Yeah.
municipal bonds.
So you get diversification. You get all kinds of different maturities probably in there too, right? You get some shorter term.
Oh, my gosh.
You get a whole, and so you get that protection, and you get the tax-free interest, right? These municipalities are paying you, and you get it at what cost?
Ready?
Yeah.
These guys charge 2 3/4%. Vanguard, to give you a real tax-free, honest tax-free yield, charges you 0.09%.
That's less than 1/10 of 1%.
Correct.
Yeah. That's a pretty
9
good deal.
100ths of 1%.
And what if you bought that in the ETF?
I didn't even know there was
I mean, they
one.
take now, from what I understand, because we just met with the folks from Vanguard last week. We get nothing from Vanguard either, by the way. We should point out we do use some of their funds because we find them to be the best.
Although we wish we did get something from the Vanguard. If you want to send us a check,
you'd be retiring to somewhere in South America, not South Virginia.
Over the 30 years I've been saying nice things about Vanguard. Yeah, you guys owe me a lot of money.
True enough.
Oh, the expenses aren't that much better. They're just 0.08.
Because they actually, in their ETFs, they're not the derivatives you get in other ETFs. They're actually tranches of they actually slice off the fund and put it in that ETF. So it is different than a lot of other exchange-traded funds that are actually operated, as you know, differently. And by the way, before we forget, we got a mea culpa on last week's show because we said something and we want to make sure that we clarify that.
Yes.
We had it wrong.
Here's what I did. A lot of international bond funds do some currency hedging because they're income vehicles, and international stock funds generally do not. What international stock funds do instead is they transfer they exchange their dollars into the currency of
Local
the country
currency.
in which they're borrowing, so that they don't have currency risk at that point.
Yep.
And then they quote it back in a conversion to dollars.
So you're
the price. Always looking at a dollar denominated price. And I conflated the two concepts in my hurry to answer a question. And no, stock funds, international stock funds generally, couple do, but generally do not currency hedge. Bond funds generally do.
Yeah, we had it wrong, and for that we apologize. Please see page 18 for the full apology. Isn't that what the papers always do? Put the little thing back in the back?
Yeah, and
we're sincerely
of
sorry
course,
for that. So same thing.
We guarantee your money back from listening to the show. Every penny we didn't charge you.
Oh, I see. Okay, you had me going there. Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not right.
Whoa,
what did we charge them for saying that? Nothing.
Exactly. So you don't need special products like this. You shouldn't use a duly registered person. Period. It just puts you in a risk. You're adding risk to your overall financial situation when you do not need to do that. That's my take.
And you really need to get real about all of your life. I know you think you're special. I do.
You are.
And I think you are too. You are special to me. Let me go get my sweater. You are special to me.
Love that movie too, by the way.
I didn't see it yet.
Oh,
I haven't seen it yet.
Great film. Great film.
But there are not special investments for you. Even though these salespeople, who are all, by the way, very nice.
Can you say commissions? No, you could.
Yeah. Commissions, loads. Suitability. 855-935-TALK is our number. 855-935-8255.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Would you like to talk to a real investment advisor for free? Set up an appointment at talkingrealmoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
And we have a really big retirement class coming up for you real soon. Just go to either talkingrealmoney.com or Real Retirement Roadmap to register.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit talkingrealmoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?